Welcome to the Wither Arena. Hello everyone, NetherTrey here, and welcome back to Let's Play Resonant Rise 3. Today, we're going to do episode 25, and we are going to get ready to fight the Wither. So I built a little arena in the back there you can see of our mob spawning room. But the problem I'm going to have is that the Wither blows up blocks, as most people know. So we're going to want to prevent that, and there's a couple ways to do it. There's like reinforced obsidian, which takes a ton of iron, dark steel iron. I don't want to go that route. We are going to use RFTools to make force fields. So the way that works is we find the force field blocks for RFTools. There's one word, RFTools. And we are going to want, wow, this mod has a lot of blocks in it. Dimension editors. It also has a dimension creation system that we're going to get into later, a lot like Mistcraft. But we are looking for the shield projector. So shield projector, there's a couple different tiers of it and allows you to use more and more blocks. I'm pretty sure tier 1 is all we're going to need for now. We are going to need a bunch of these machine frames. And we might as well just make a bunch of them while we're at it because we're going to need them. And we're going to need some redstone torches. Shield projector tier 1. So it forms a force field out of adjacent template blocks. And you can also filter what types of entities can pass through the force fields, which is really nice because that means we can make it so that we can pass through it and the Wither cannot. Or we can make it so that nothing can pass through. You can even make it so that mobs or any entities of your choice get damaged when they touch the force field. So in order to do this, we are going to want to make some force field templates, which takes a lot of wool, which luckily we have wool gone. So we'll just make a whole bunch of these, make a couple stacks of them, because we're going to need a lot. We're also going to want to use two different colors of these, because we're going to need two separate force fields. The first force field is going to be the one on the floor, which we are going to build just like this. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So it'll be a 13 by 13 flat force field on the ground. And this is going to make up the floor just so the Wither can't destroy the floor. And then we're going to have, and this one's going to be solid, so even we can't pass through it. So it'll act just like a floor for us as well. And we are also going to make another force field that encases this room that we can pass through to get out of, but the Wither cannot. So we're going to stick our force field projector right here so that we have access to it. Like that. Now this is going to use RF power. We're going to set it so that hostile mobs, it's solid for hostile mobs. And we also want it to be, well, actually, we're just going to want it to be solid for everything. So let's delete that one, make it solid for all. Oops. Solid for all. Just like that. We're going to want to set it so that it looks like a floor block. And we're going to want to get some power into this guy. So I am going to have to run our dense cable the rest of the way down here. We have some dense cable. We're going to need some more. Let's see if we can make another stack of this. nope, not enough pure fluix crystals. So let's make some fluix crystals. And we're going to want to change these into the pure version. Well, let's go down here and do this. Got a little bit of block lag there. Now we're going to need a stack of sand and our fluix dust. That's going to make us 2 more stacks of pure fluix crystals. Those will automatically get imported into our system. And while that's going on, we'll run back up to where we're building. Go back in here and try for our dense cables again. Now we're good. Let those craft up and we'll run this. Alright, so now we've gone too far because we are underneath our floor, which means that our alright, so now we hit the floor, our shield projector is right there. So we're going to run this dense cable straight down through here. That. We're going to need 1 smart cable like that, and we're going to need one of our RF tunnels, which looks like we already have a tunnel, which is nice. Slap that guy right on there. Oops. So we are going to want to bring this forward 1 more. Oh, must have thrown a wrench into the system by accident. That, and then that. And then our smart cable. And then our tunnel. Turn it into an RF tunnel. Gonna need our memory card, load the settings. I think I already have this set to our power tunnel. Yes, we do. So now we've got power. Then we're gonna need our wrench, which I must have thrown in our system. Don't know when I did that. And if we right click this, it turns on our force field. Apparently the camouflage did not work, so it is solid, so we can stand on it. Use the texture from the supplied block. So there we go. Now it's solid. Looks just like a floor, but it's actually a force field. We can't break it. Can't break through it, and that will be the same for the wither as it is for us. So cool, that works. So if we take our shield templates and we throw them in the crafting grid, we'll get a different color template, and that will make it so that we can place them right next to our other templates without them interfering with each other. So we're going to completely encapsulate this room with the red templates. And that will complete the force field. Now all we should have to do is go, actually with the number of blocks that we're probably going to need a tier 2 force field block. So let's upgrade this guy. We are going to need some blocks of redstone. That'll support 1024 blocks. I think we had too many there for the tier 1. So we'll go like this for now. We might find somewhere a little less obvious to place it later on. Let's pop underground here. Let's see if we can get some power run over to this guy. So where is he? Right there. That's a force field block. So we're actually going to have to go, That's a force field. But anyway, yeah, we're going to have to come from behind here, just like that. That's a solid shield block. We'll come down like this. And that will give power to that one. Just like that. Now this one we are going to want item. We're going to want players to be able to pass, and we are going to want hostile mobs to be solid. Now we want this to be invisible so you can't see it. And then we're going to take our wrench, whack, and we now have an invisible force field here that mobs cannot get through, but players can. We're going to need something to cover that up. So let's get a facade real quick. I think that's a normal wall. Yeah, so we're going to go out to our painter. Beside that. And ta-da! So let's see if we can grab a mob. So can we make a safari net? Yeah, we can make a safari net. So let's spawn one of these guys. See if we can grab one quick before it dies. Got one. As you can see, we do have 7 of those heads already, so we should be in good shape. So let's leave that run for a little bit, actually, so we can collect more heads. But if we take this safari net and we let him loose in here, can he get through? No, he cannot get through there because of the force field. So that will work perfectly for the wither boss. You guys ready to see if we can handle this guy? Let's do it. Okay, so we got him. One thing we learned though was that if you have this set to hostile solid, apparently his projectiles can still pass through it. So let's see if there's anything we can do about that. I'm gonna have to look into this and see if there's a way to make it so that their projectiles don't pass through. We did get a division sigil. We got our nether cube. We got one of these epic shader grab bags from Immersive Engineering, but I'm gonna have to do some work to make sure that that doesn't happen in the future. So that was a surprise. So yeah, let me look into that and I'll be right back. All right, guys, so I have been playing around with this for a little bit, and what I've discovered, if I go in here and I find my safari balls, like, I know this has worked in the past and the wither was not able to shoot outside of the force field. But what I remember is that I've never done an invisible force field before. So when this is set to invisible, well, first of all, let's set this to shield. So when it's just a normal shield and I put a mob inside here and I back out, they do not shoot at me. And I think that's just because they can't see through the force field, even though I can see through it. It acts kind of like glass, where if you have glass and a mob's on the other side of it, they don't recognize that you're there. But if I take this guy and I pick him back up and I go in here and I make this invisible, he can't pass through it, but he can still see me. He just can't get to me, so he will shoot at me. So that's not going to work. But if I set this to solid and then have a block like quite clear glass in there, I can see through it, but again, it's solid, not just invisible, so the mob can't see through it. So I've been looking for the clearest possible material that I could find, and so far the best one I've found is quite clear glass, although I do want to try one other glass. If I run over here and grab my chisel, I know there is a type of glass called borderless glass, if I can find it in here. So this is borderless glass. I don't know if this is gonna work, but we're gonna try it, because I think it breaks connected textures when you put it in here. So I'm gonna put this in here. We're gonna set it to that. Well, the connected texture does work. It still has the overall border. I wish there was a truly borderless glass, but it does look a little bit. At least it doesn't look glitchy like the other one does. So I think I'm going to stick with that one for now. And again, if I take a mob, put it in here, and then back out, they cannot see through here to shoot at me. So that's what I'm going to go with for now. And since it's solid, it also stops projectiles. I don't know why invisible doesn't stop projectiles, but now if I build a wither in here, he will not be able to shoot through this. So I'll put this back in the system. And there's one other thing I would like to do. Now that we have a system where we can kill withers, barely, I'm going to need to get some armor going. I want a system to auto-kill them if we want to, and I'm going to try to do it with the force fields. I don't know if this is going to work, so I'm going to test this as we're live. So I grabbed a couple items. I grabbed Ender Chest and an advanced item collector, and advanced item collectors are from random things. I stuck a couple of them in here because I don't know if you guys noticed, but a lot of mobs, when they get killed by the grinder, and sometimes when they get stuck in the walls, they will drop some of their items on the ground rather than being collected by the grinder. So what an advanced item collector does is it allows it basically absorbs items in the radius that you set and puts them into an adjacent inventory. So I have it being sent into a hopper, and then the hopper is being pulled into our item conduit network here. And it's going to the same place that the grinder sends them. So that's been working pretty well, and it doesn't look too bad because the hopper kind of matches with the color. So that doesn't look too bad. I'm okay with that. Oh, we do have skeletons spawning in this room. That's not good. I have to do something about that. But for now, it's okay. So we are up to 50 skulls, which is awesome. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to our force field. I'm going to shut off this one completely. And this one I am going to hit with a wrench to bring it back into these. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come into the center of the room, which is right here, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to dig down to, we're going to take our ender chest here and we're going to color it the same as the rest of our system. So green, 1, 2 black. I guess I didn't really need to do that up here. I could have done it down in the hole, but whatever. We are going to put that right there. And then we're going to take our advanced item collector and we're going to stick it right on top of there. So anything that is absorbed by that advanced item collector will go into the ender chest and then into our main AE network. I'm going to replace this shield template. We are going to set this so that it is not solid for all. What we're going to do, well, we can leave the solid for all, and then we're going to add in pass for items and make sure that's a higher priority than the solid for all. So now when I hit this with a wrench and turn it back on, I should be able to take this granite and throw it right through the floor. Yes, it will go right through the floor. And let's see if it is... Actually, you know what? Let's test this even better. We'll leave this invisible for a second. We'll take this cobblestone and we'll just randomly throw stuff in the room and see... Well, we're going to take our magnet off. So if I throw that there, and there, it's just kind of bouncing around. I don't know if I like that. If I throw it like there, let's find something in our system that we have like one of. So we have one arrow in our system. Let's take that. if I throw the arrow here, I believe it just got picked up and thrown into our system. Yes, it did. Let's turn this outer force field back on. So that should block that from going through, and it is. It's not being sucked into the advanced item collector, so we may need more than one of the. Oh, you know what? I didn't set the range on it. So let me go into the floor one, and we want to set this to on to activate, so that should mean it's off now. Yes. And we want to bump up the radius of this guy. We'll make it like 10. And we'll turn this back on. So the floor should be on now, yes. And if I throw that there, I believe it just went into our system. Yes, it did. Okay, so we should be good now. So we can make this floor solid again. Just like that. And now we should also be able to set this so that it's solid and does damage to hostile mobs. So that we want to move up so that it's a higher priority than the default. We're also going to set this so it does damage as if it were a player, just in case there are some items that the wither drops that require a player to do the damage. We're going to do the same thing here, so we're going to do solid damage to hostile mobs, add. We are going to move that up past the default so that it's a higher priority. And now we're going to build another wither. So we're going to need some soul sand. We're also going to need wither skeletons. 1, 2, 3. Let's build this wither right here. Go up to our little observation platform. And we'll see what happens. Wow, so he is being damaged. So he died. Now the platform is causing, or the damage from the floor, from the force field, is causing him to attack the force field, which is kind of weird. And somehow he's glitching through and destroying parts of the wall, which is not cool. Let's see if I can. There we go. So that's something we're going to have to find a way to deal with. But let's make sure all our items went into the system. So, yes, we now have 3 nether cubes. I did kill another wither in between segments trying to figure out how to fix the situation we were having. So that works. Unfortunately, he does still break through the wall a little bit. It's not too bad. I could double up the shield, but oh man, that's not really something I was planning on doing. I mean, for now we can just kill him manually too, because as long as he's focused on us, he won't be like glitching into the shield and dealing damage. But that's our wither arena, And we now have access to nether stars. Alright guys, so I'm just finishing off our second turbine here. So that will bring our total power up to 58,000 RF per tick. 48,000 RF per tick. L2 math. But that's about an episode for today, guys, and I did not want to put that there. So thanks once again for joining me. If you like what you saw, go ahead and give the video a like, subscribe if you want to see more, and we'll see you next time.